I don't really know why I'm here. Everybody has lives. Like, I mean, like, not like what I'm doing now. I mean, like, lives, like, they have stuff they could be doing. Oh, wow, there's people in here. Whoa. I was gonna selfishly eat this Taco Bell by myself, but oh my god, thanks. Thank you. Happy New Year. Thank you. I think I'm just gonna randomly talk about shit and then post this later. Well, I was gonna make a whole video, actually, but my head started hurting because I spent like probably like 2 hours trying to do this. And then when I was finally done, I was like, oh my god, my head hurts so bad because I hadn't eaten. And yeah. I need to come up with something to talk about. These aren't as good as everyone says. These nacho fries. I don't think it's because I got these like an hour ago. Motherfucker. I got a lot of shit because I actually got this thinking I was gonna film like a dead ass video. I got this cunt trap. I got this. I have a chalupa. And I have three Cinnabon Delights because my sister came in and took one. I had 4. But she a thief, so, you know. I have sour cream. I'm trying to scan my brain for random shit that's ever happened to me in the past so I can at least talk about something and make this like slightly interesting. Yeah, I'm eating. I haven't had Taco Bell in months. Because I've been having like a lot of health issues. So I had to stop, like I had to get on a low fat diet. So I couldn't eat out or anything like that. I had to stop drinking, which I had to stop drinking anyway. you know. So you're not gonna see me drunk in a video again. Which that was kind of like my favorite thing to do, so that's sad, but I had to stop drinking because I was only eating 800 calories a day. Not on purpose, I swear to God. I was accidentally starving myself. And I dropped a lot of weight. And since March I dropped probably like 10 or 11 pounds. And woohoo, fool around the sun. But yeah, since March I've dropped like 12 pounds. I'm 98 pounds right now. So not great. I'm like really underweight. It's really bad. And like trying to gain weight, but like trying to gain weight on all healthy food is so hard. And then like my body, I was so used to eating those 800 calories a day that like I have to like force myself to eat more. And like I'll be at fucking Ensure. I'll have to try that. But I'll be at like 1,000 calories. I'm supposed to be eating like 1,500. I'll be at like 1,000 calories and I'm like, fuck, I have to eat more. Like I'm so fucking full. I don't want to eat anything else. So yeah, I haven't had Taco Bell in a minute. Like, this has been months me going through this health shit. And I had like an endoscopy done. They couldn't find anything wrong with me. Because what was happening was my pancreas started hurting really, really bad. I started having really bad chest pains. So I had to go to the emergency room. And like, nothing was wrong with my heart. Thank God. It's like, I'm like super inflamed in my stomach. And I've got this. Oh, you know what? How about I just tell you about this bullshit health stuff that's been happening to me? Okay. So, I have this bulge in my stomach that, like, you can see very clearly, and I'll show you. I'm going to show you right now. Because it drives me crazy. It's like half of my stomach is like a bulge, and then there's a dip, and then it's like the rest of me. Actually, I don't know if you can actually see it. We're gonna try this. I have an outy belly button. Don't fucking come for me. I know it's weird. Everybody makes fun of me. Okay. So, fuck me. Okay. Can you see that? Okay. So, this part of my stomach bulges out. You can't tell right now because I'm bloated because I've been eating. But this part of my stomach bulges out. And oh my god, hi Glenn. I would not have thought that you would be on this live. That's so funny. But yeah, you're one of the people who always make fun of me, so I'm not fucking surprised. Come with the shade. With your Air Force ass. Anyway. No, I've never had stomach surgery. So listen, I fucking... Because I started feeling like gas bubbles. Happy New Year. Mexi Matt. That's a cute name. I started feeling them traveling around my stomach. So I fucking go to the ER because I was doing research and like all this shit, and I'm like, oh, maybe I have like a fucking hernia. Because I'm telling you, there's a bulge, right? And I go, they do a CT scan, they don't find anything. And I'm like, you're telling me I look normal? And the doctor's like, well, it looks like you just have abs. And I was like, abs from what? I don't fucking work out. So what the fuck are you talking about? Because I told her, this is TMI, so if you don't like TMI, click off this shit right now. Come back in like 10 minutes, click off this shit. But because I heard like from the research that I was doing, like it was saying that like you can get, yes, I know abs don't stick. Shut the fuck up. Let me finish. Listen, the next day after I've stopped eating, my stomach is flat, okay, except for the top part of the bulge. I wish I had a fucking video here. Like, can I insert one of my own videos? Because I took a video so I could show the doctor. Right, but like, I shouldn't have abs because I don't work out. So listen. Oh, okay, you're saying an agreement. Okay. So the doctor's like, yeah, she's like feeling around my stomach, and I tell her like, well, I looked up online that like people can get like hernias from like forcing themselves or like put too much pressure on the situation on the like this area. And I told her like, I get, listen, this is TMI, okay? I get hemorrhoids a lot because I like when I poop, I'll be like I'm like, get this shit out. I don't want to fucking have it in me anymore. So I poop too hard and I get hemorrhoids pretty often. So I told her like, okay, it makes sense to me if I have a hernia because I do this all the time. And she's like, we just did the CT scan. You don't have a hernia. And she's like, you're just super skinny. And I think these are your abs. And I'm like, but what am I getting abs from? What? She literally was like, I think you're getting abs from all the straining that you're doing. And I'm like, all the straining that I'm doing? She's like, yeah. Like, when you go to the bathroom and you push, you use this upper region, the region that I'm talking about. And I'm like, so why don't I have abs on the bottom? And she's like, well, usually like the upper half forms faster than the lower half. So I'm like, you're telling me I got abs from taking shits? You're telling me that I got abs, only top abs, from taking shits? Okay. No, it's fine. No, it's fine. So I was pissed off because obviously the ER ain't cheap. My fucking copay is $100. So the other thing about the top part bulge, I'm telling you, yeah, that's what she was telling me, that it's hard to develop the lower abs too. But like, the main reason why I thought that it was a hernia was because whenever I sit up straight, it hasn't happened that much in the past, or in the past couple weeks, but whenever I was sitting up straight, it felt like I was, like my body was like pulling that bulge down. Like it hurt, and it felt so fucking uncomfortable. So, but yeah, like I said, I had an endoscopy. They put a tube down my throat, put a camera in that bitch. They didn't find anything. What the fuck else have I done? I've gotten so much fucking blood work done. And I hate needles. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. Okay. And every time I have to get an IV done, I fucking cry because I'm a big ass baby. What the fuck else? See, Nicholas gets it. Glenn, you're a dick. Okay? It's not just a little prick. They're inserting metal into my fucking arm. This arm has been pricked so much in the last few months. Okay? I'm surprised there's any blood left. It's because this vein is so juicy. And whenever they were doing this one, they couldn't find any fucking thing. So they were like, oh, let's just get this one again. And I'm like, oh, but they just drew blood last week. What other blood is there to find there? Leave me alone. So listen. Yeah, I've been having to get a bunch of tests done. And I'll tell you about the last humiliating thing that I did. That makes sense. My grandmother had the same problem. They always had to stick. She didn't have big veins either. Like, her shit was always hard to find. They always had to stick her in her hand to get blood out. Like, fucking crazy shit. This is basically done. I should start eating my chalupa. But listen, so I'm gonna tell you something embarrassing that I did, okay? So I had an ultrasound done. Why am I, like, not understanding how to eat this chalupa right now? 1 second. I didn't want to say this. Actually, it does taste good. I know a lot of people are wondering, and I didn't want to come right out and say it because still it's hard for me to accept right now, and it still kind of hasn't hit me that it happened, but my grandma passed away 2 weeks ago. So it's been pretty hard because I literally started this channel at her house. So yeah. She was really young. She was 72. Very, very young. But after my dad died, which also happened while I had this channel, I think I made a video about that when I was in China. He died when I was in China, but after that, she was never the same. This past year, me and my sister had to take care of her. Thanks, Glenn. But yeah, me and my sister had to take care of her this past year because she wasn't, thanks, Nicholas. She wasn't taking care of herself, and she kind of just didn't care about life anymore after my dad died. Like, she was just barely hanging on for me and my sister. Excuse me. But yeah. So she's gone, but she wasn't gone. She didn't go in like a bad way. She died in her sleep. The crazy part is she caught COVID. She caught COVID, beat COVID, but she died from heart complications like 2 weeks later because she had a pacemaker and the pacemaker stopped working. And like last year she signed all this paperwork saying that like if it ever came to it, she didn't want to be resuscitated. So like when I got the call from the hospital that like they needed to know what my decision was, like, hey, so like she can't breathe and she needs oxygen, and usually like people who don't want to be resuscitated don't want oxygen either. So like, what do you want to do? And I was always the point of contact, and I was like, oh my god, like this is too big of a decision. Like, I'm about to decide if my grandmother lives or dies right now. So I called my cousin, because she's heavily in our lives too. I called my cousin and I'm like, they're saying like she needs oxygen and they don't know if, hey Dorothea, does she have a nice life? I don't know. That's subjective, to be honest. It depends on what you think. I think her life, she felt like it was fine. If I had to answer for her, I would say that she would say, yeah, it was fine. It was okay. Because she always talked to me about all these missed opportunities that she never got to do. And she would always be like telling me like, don't trust men, they'll fuck your life up. Because she always said that like she would have never, like if she knew, the only reason why she got married in the first place was because my grandfather like convinced her to get married, and because she was pregnant. And but if she hadn't have gotten pregnant and hadn't have gotten convinced to get married, she always would have went to California, and she would have married this other guy that she loved. So yeah, she was always like telling me about regrets in her life. And like, you know, when I first started like dating guys, when I was with her, she like fucking freaked out. She freaked out. She didn't want me making the same mistakes she did. She's like, don't be having sex, don't be doing this, don't be doing that. Men will ruin your life. They don't know how to take care of money, they don't know how to blah blah. Because my grandfather was like the worst at taking money, or taking care of money, apparently. I don't know, I never knew him. He didn't want to know me because when my mom used to live with them, my mom and him didn't get along. At first they did, but then they had a falling out. And so they had a falling out, and then he decided he didn't want to know me anymore, just in case like she ever used me as leverage to hurt him. So I never knew him. It's weird too, because like all these people around me like talk about him and shit, and I'm like, I don't know. My dad hated him, like point blank period. Like I remember the year before my dad died, he like told me all about my my grandfather, and my grandfather spent the last year of his life miserable because he didn't take care of himself either, and my grandmother had to be with him all the time. And like apparently he was horrible, like, and my dad was like, when your grandfather died, I was like, good fucking riddance. And I was like, oh, holy shit. I couldn't believe he said that shit. I couldn't believe he said that shit. And like, hi carrot cakes. I never seen you comment on anything of mine before. I'm gonna have to check out your channel. But yeah, a lot of stuff in my family is pretty fucked up. That's why I don't really talk about it on here, cause like it's a lot. But back to like what happened when my grandmother died. So yeah, I called up my cousin. I told my cousin like, hey, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know if I should put her on oxygen or not. She was like, holy shit, I don't know what to do. So then we call my grandmother's brother, and we're like, hey, what do you think we should do? And he was like, well, she told me like 1,000,000,000 times, I don't want to fucking be resuscitated. I don't want to fucking be resuscitated. If it ever comes to it, I don't want to be fucking resuscitated. I was just watcher. I love your early. Yeah. Those are actually my most viewed videos, and it's like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing wrong now. No, I was never in my basement. I was always in the living room of my grandmother's house. But yeah. So yeah, we collectively, me, my sister, my cousin, and my uncle, we all collectively made the decision to respect her wishes and let her pass. And I honestly haven't gotten a good night of sleep since then. Partially because of that, but also partially because I got a kitten. No, it wasn't the basement. It wasn't. But yeah. So I miss my grandmother like so much. I miss her so much, and like I think there's even a few videos of that I have on this channel with her like walking past or like something, or me like talking to her in like the background. So yeah, like I started this channel after I ran away from my mom, which I've also never mentioned on this channel, but I basically, when I was 18, long story short, I had to run away from my mother because she started going batshit crazy on me, and my grandmother took me in, and that year I started this channel. So, see, this is why I didn't want to talk about it, because now, I'm thinking about her. She saved my life. If she hadn't taken me in, I probably would have killed myself. Because things were getting really bad at home. And I just didn't see the point in, going on anymore if I was always going to be, tormented. So, yeah, my grandmother saved my life. And I will forever be indebted to her for that. And I know she's been wanting to die for 2 years. Ever since my dad died, she wanted to die. So I'm glad that she finally doesn't have to suffer here anymore, because she didn't want to be here anymore. But I know she felt guilty because she didn't want to leave me and my sister, but she really didn't want to be here. And so I'm glad that she finally got her wish, and I'm glad that she's in a better place now. But I do miss her, and yeah, I miss her a lot. And it was weird, the first couple days, because it was just this person that I loved more than more than anyone else in my life besides my sister is just gone. And it's wow, I'm just supposed to go to work the next day. Do I watch TV? What do I do? What do I do? Thanks, Nick. Golos. I don't know if you go by Nick. Thank you, I appreciate that. But yeah, it's just weird her not being here. I still haven't fully grasped it. Firmly grasped it. No, yeah, I haven't fully grasped it yet, because I haven't seen her. I hadn't seen ever since COVID started. I couldn't visit her, so I hadn't seen her anyway. So it's weird. It kind of feels like she's still at the nursing home, but I know she's not. It's weird. But yeah, and then also it was strange too, because she was having health issues, I was having health issues, I still am having health issues, but yeah, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about something else other than my sad ass life. I feel like there's probably some chats that I missed, and I don't know how to save them or look at them. Oh, thanks. I spent a couple hours doing it, so I appreciate that. I know. I think I read them all. Alright, so look. Let's talk about something funny. So, let's go back to the health shit. Alright, so after I had a bunch of tests done, I go back to my gastroenterologist, and she's basically okay, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you, so I'm just about to test you for a bunch of shit. I'm gonna test you for celiac disease, which is if you don't know, it's a gluten allergy. She's I'm gonna test you for celiac disease, I'm gonna test your blood, I'm gonna test this, and I'm gonna test to see if there's any blood in your stool. So at first she was gonna give me this take-home test for me to like put my shit on. And then she was like trying to explain it to me because it was in this envelope. She's trying to explain it to me. And I was looking at her like, I don't get it. And then she was like, okay, I'm just gonna write you a script and you can get it done at like one of those diagnostic centers. And I'm like, cool. All right. So I have to get my blood work done again. Fucking hate that. But also, I need a shit test done. So what do I think? Well, how are they? Hang on. I know, right? I'd be so mad if I had to test shit. I'd be so fucking mad. So look, you can't do a shit test without shit, okay? And my logic was, well, how the fuck am I gonna know if I'm gonna need to shit when I get there? So I'm like, well, I need to bring my shit to the appointment. Oh my god. Some people are passionate about poop. In what way? I know some people, I did. I didn't understand how else I was supposed to do it. Hang on, I'll tell you what I did. Let me just chew this up. Okay, I'm gonna fucking choke if I try to. Glenn, you're gonna make me choke. See, with my health issues though, I'm not allowed to be drinking coffee. I'm not allowed to be drinking coffee. I'm not even supposed to be eating chocolate because it has caffeine in it. I can't drink pop. What else? I can't drink alcohol, obviously. So, like, that was out of the question. Anyway, okay, so look. I usually either shit right before bed or, like, in the morning. Okay, so that morning, I pooped. And, like, coffee is a natural laxative. Yeah, but it has caffeine in it, though. And, like, the caffeine was fucking with me. And so my gastroenterologist, like, gave me a whole list of foods not to eat. And coffee was on that list. So, I go and I go to the bathroom and I was about to just let it go, you know, and hit the, okay, listen, hey, warning, this is TMI. I'm about to tell you exactly what happened in graphic detail. So if you can't take it, please get the fuck off this live. Get the fuck off this live because you're not going to want to hear this shit. All right. Are you gone? I see 4 people are still here. All right. Seems like you want to hear it. Okay. So I'm sitting on the toilet. Okay. And I was about to let it just plop in the toilet and be done with it. But then as it's coming out of my asshole, I realized, oh, fuck, I might not get this opportunity again. I have to get this fucking feces test. So, you're right, you have seen it all. Okay, so, as I'm pooping, I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm not gonna get this opportunity again. And I call my sister, and I'm like, yo, I need you to bring me a Ziploc bag. And she was so mad at me. I was like, yo, bring me a Ziploc bag and bring me a paper towel. So I like put the paper towel in this hand and I like had it And so I stood up off the toilet seat so I could catch it. I, I stood up on the toilet seat so I could catch it. So I catch it, it's in the napkin, and I put it in the Ziploc bag, okay? And like, I close it, and it actually didn't smell because I had, I had been eating clean eating for like months. So, yeah, no, I actually did it. So, I've been clean eating for months, so my like waste hasn't smelled bad. So because I didn't understand how to do the stool kit. That was the whole point. Like, she was gonna give me the stool kit. I didn't understand how to do it. So she was like, fuck it. You can just do it at the diagnostic center. So I was like, oh, so I have to bring my shit, because if I'm doing it at the diagnostic center, I'm not gonna know if I have to shit on command, or I'm not gonna know if I'm gonna be able to shit on command. So, fucking, yeah, so I have it in the Ziploc bag, but then I got nervous because my appointment wasn't for another like 2 hours. Commercials. Okay, well, look, I wasn't thinking about that, okay? I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. So, I got nervous because my appointment wasn't for another like 2 hours. So, I like go and like I have it in the Ziploc bag, and then I wrap the whole thing in paper towel, and I put it in another Ziploc bag, and then I just left it like on the bathroom floor because I was like, okay, like I'm gonna come back and get this. Okay, so I go back in the bathroom like an hour later, and I start smelling it. It's like permeating through the bag, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is fucking gross. So I grab like 3 like fucking Walmart, Target plastic bags, and I'm wrapping that shit, wrapping that shit, wrapping that shit. And my appointment isn't for another hour. So I'm like, okay, so I left it, went back to my room. I was doing whatever. I go back and I can still smell it. And I was like, fuck, what am I gonna fucking do? I didn't know what to do. So I grabbed one of the Tupperware bins, which is thrown away. Okay. After this, I threw the bitch away. But yeah, so I took a Tupperware container and I put the wrappings in the Tupperware container, but it was too, like, because I had wrapped it in so many bags, it was too thick for the Tupperware container to fucking close. I was so pissed. So I put it in the Tupperware container, and then I took all of my shit out because I was like ready to go to my appointment. I took all of my shit out of my purse because I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm never using this purse again, but I need something to contain the smell. Like, it wasn't like a huge smell because, like I said, I've been clean eating for like months, so like it didn't smell like terrible, but it still smelled like a piece of shit. So I put it in my purse, and I like closed the purse, and I was like just trying to zoom to the diagnostic center as quick as possible. So I show up, and I'm just praying to God that no one's like, what's that smell? Because I contemplated, I was like, do I leave it in my car and then come back out? Hi. I'm like, do I leave it in my car and then come back out when I need to do the poop test? Or do I just bring it? And I was like, okay, I'll just fucking bring it, because if I leave it in my car, it's gonna make my car smell like shit. So I go and I bring it in the diagnostic center. And I don't say anything. I don't like go in and like, hi, by the way, I've got my shit with me. No, so I go in. Exactly, I would have had to throw the whole damn car away. That's not an option. I still have $20,000 I have to pay on that bitch. So I go in, and it's these 2 ladies there, okay, and they take me to the back. Thanks, Happy New Year to you too. They take me to the back, and they're like talking or whatever, and it was kind of like really fucking unprofessional, to be honest with you, because I'm like, they're like older ladies, and they're like, yeah, like Jordan got detention again, and or some shit they were talking about, and like, yeah, I told him that blah blah this and that, and I'm just sitting there like while the one nurse lady is like prepping my arm to put the fucking needle in me, prepping my arm, and she's just talking, and like they're just talking back and forth about their fucking grandchildren or whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are you guys talking about this, like, right now? You have to talk about this right now. So, like I told you, I'm a fucking baby. So when she starts pulling out the needle, I start, like, bawling, but, like, silently. That's, like, my hidden talent. Crying in front of people and they don't even know. Really sad talent, but I've got it because I've had to use it a few times. But anyway, so I'm, like, sitting there, like crying. The only even reason why she noticed was because she like tilted her body or something and then looked at me and was like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I hate needles. I'm just like, I hate needles and I'm scared. And she's like, oh baby, don't be scared. She's really nice. She's like, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm like, I know you're not gonna hurt me, but it's gonna hurt. So she was really nice, and it hurt, obviously it hurt. So she draws my fucking blood, and then they spent like 3 minutes trying to figure out, yes, the slow tear. No, it was more than this, just one tear. I was crying like bad. But they spent, like, so after they take my blood and they take the sample, they went on the fucking computer and was like, oh, do I click this one, this celiac one, or this other celiac one? Or this celiac one. Oh, do I click this one up here? And I'm like, who are you people? Do you know how to do your fucking job? Like, I wasn't trying to be like mean or anything because they seemed like nice ladies, but I'm like, how do you not know which diagnostics options to fucking choose from? You have the fucking script right next to you and you don't know which one to pick on the goddamn motherfucking computer? What? Who hired you? I'm so confused. And so they came to some conclusion of what to pick. I was blown though, because I'm like, so are they even going to test me for the right fucking thing? But like, how would I say that? So I'm just sitting there like, okay. So then, after they're done, they're like, okay, so I see here you have a script for a feces test. And I'm like, yeah. And, she pulls out the same god dang motherfucking envelope that my gastroenterologist pulled out from before, the one where she tried to explain it to me. So then this nurse lady proceeds to try to explain to me how to take it home to do the test. And I'm just like looking at her like, I'm looking at my bag of shit. I'm looking at her, looking at my purse full of shit. And I'm like, I thought that I was doing the test here. And she was like, oh, well, I mean, if you've got to go to the bathroom, I guess you could. And I was like, I have a sample with me. When I tell you, they both looked at me and was like, what do you mean? Because they were both standing like relatively close to me. Like not too close, obviously, because it's COVID and whatever, we have masks on. But like, I was like, I have my stool in my purse. They backed the fuck up. They backed the fuck up. They looked at each other and started busting out laughing. And I was so embarrassed. Like, I was just sitting there like, so you saying that I went through all this turmoil for nothing? And so they were like, okay. And I'm like, so, I mean, I went through the trouble of bringing my shit. Can I just do it here? And the one thing is like, well, you can do it outside. Bitch, what? Outside? You want me to take my fucking shit? Bring it out outside for the whole world to see what my fucking shit looks like? What? And I was like, well, can I do it in the bathroom? And she was like, oh, I guess, yeah. And so I was like, okay. So then I take the test and I take my purse. She's like, here, wait, hold on. She gives me like this whole roll of paper towels and like this disinfectant, and she gives me like 3 gloves She's like, yeah, just make sure you clean up good in there when you get done. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I've got all this shit, no pun intended, I've got all this shit in my hands, and I'm like going to the bathroom, and the test was just as confusing before. But here's the kicker, okay? The kicker, you thought the kicker was me not needing my shit. You thought the kicker was the fact that I brought the shit to the diagnostic center and I didn't need it. No, that's not the kicker. The kicker is when I finally comprehended the instructions. The instructions clearly indicated that no raw feces was supposed to be put on the card. I thought that I was literally gonna take the kit and like use one of the brushes and scoop a little bit of shit on the card. But no, the instruction. Did you have to put it back in your bag? No. No. The instructions indicate that it's a water shit test. Which means the shit has to be in the toilet in order to do the test. So I've got a bag of shit in my hands that I have to now reinsert into the toilet. So I take the shit bag, okay, take my gloves, okay, I had my fucking gloves on, I wasn't, had my gloves on, and I reinsert the shit in the toilet. I don't make a plopping sound because I don't want it to back up, hit me in the face. So it's sitting in the water, and I get the little brushes, and because you're supposed to, like, the way that it told you, you're not supposed to put any feces on the card, like any actual feces. You're just supposed to use the bristles of the brush to like wipe the turd back and forth, and then you use that water sample from swishing the little turd, and then you put it on the feces card. And then you like close the card up, put your name on it, put it in the envelope. And I was in that bathroom for like a good, I want to say like 30 minutes, because first of all, it took me like 20 minutes to figure out what the fucking instructions were saying to me. And then it took me another like 10 minutes to actually do the test, because I felt like I was performing surgery, because I was like, I'm not doing this shit again. I'm not bringing this here. You know what I mean? So yeah, so after I finally fucking got done doing that, I came back out and like I scared them. The ladies had like totally forgotten that I was even in the fucking bathroom. They're like, oh, I forgot that you were here. And I was like, yeah, where do I put my shit? I didn't say that. I was like, yeah, I'm done with my test. Where do you want me to put it? And she's like, oh yeah, I'll just take it. And I'll put it back. So yeah, basically, I got my test results back. There's no blood in the stool. So basically, yeah, it was like back to square one for my gastroenterologist. Like, she doesn't know what's fucking wrong with me because I tested negative for celiac disease. I do have a low iron level, so basically she was just like, you need to start taking Flintstones vitamins with the iron in them. So I've been doing that, and then I have to take a fiber supplement every day, which I forget to do. I try to do it most days. So yeah, those are the two things that I've been doing. And basically, like, now I think that like whatever's wrong with me has to do with like, or eat liver and onions. Shut the fuck up. God. Also, for anyone who doesn't know, I'm only talking to him like that because I know him in person. I would never talk to like someone like that I didn't know. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure that like my problems are stemming from something to do with my fucking vagina, because I have terrible periods, and I've been researching a lot about that. I'm pretty sure I have endometriosis, which is like a condition where there's like scar tissue in your uterus, And I've had painful periods, like, all my life, like, since I was, like, 12 years old. Like, they make me throw up. I can't walk. I can't do anything. I have to miss work. I've always had to miss school. Um, and, yeah, so I went to the gynecologist, like, Tuesday, and the lady was just like, I told her all of my symptoms. Like, it hurts to have sex. I'm always bloated in my pelvic area. I get these, like, shooting pains, blah, blah, this and that, whatever. I have terrible periods. Okay. And she's like, sweetie. Okay, well, if you do have endometriosis, it just is what it is. Those are the symptoms. And I'm like, okay, well, the only way to diagnose endometriosis is to have surgery. You have to actually have them cut into you and, like, see if you have that scar tissue. And if you do have it, then they do this thing called excision where they take the scar tissue off. So hopefully you won't have symptoms anymore. And she's like, oh, well, I don't think that you should do that until you're absolutely necessary because, like, any complications can come with surgery. And it's like, okay, I get it. But at this fucking point, like, my periods ruin my fucking life and I'm ready to have a fucking hysterectomy. Okay? And she's like, well, you're 24 and I'm not about to give a hysterectomy to a 24-year-old. Like, you think you know everything? I thought that I knew everything at that age, but maybe when you're 34 years old and you still want to have a hysterectomy, maybe we can revisit that. And I'm like, look, lady, this shit is fucking awful. So what do you suggest we do? So she's basically like, okay, well, you need to tell me if you either want to take birth control pills or if you want to get the depot shot. And I'm like, okay. Like, I've tried taking birth control pills, like, when I was, like, a junior in college. And, I tried taking them, like, I got them, like, a few days before my junior recital. Can't hysterectomies hinder? Yeah, you take your fucking uterus out. Like, if I have a hysterectomy, I'm not having kids, point blank, period. But it's like, I can still adopt a kid. Like, I can't actually envision myself actually ever becoming pregnant, so it's not, like, that tragic to me. Because, like I said, my periods ruin my life, and, like, I feel like my body basically from the chest down just sucks. Like, it just sucks on, like, every level. And yeah. So she told me, yeah, so I tried taking birth control pills before, but they made me puke. So I never took it again. I only took it for, like, 3 days, but, like, still. I can see why she'd be hesitant too, because obviously it's, like, a huge decision. Like, you can't reverse a hysterectomy. Like, once that bitch is out, that bitch is out. So I get it, but at the same time, I didn't say I want a hysterectomy so that she could schedule me for surgery the next day. I told her that I wanted I was considering a hysterectomy so she could see how serious I was, okay? Because, like, I don't know what you guys believe, but I thoroughly believe that, like, black women especially, aren't taken seriously in the healthcare world when it comes to, like, pain and stuff like that. Like, I feel like they don't take us seriously, and I've heard so many stories of black women not being taken seriously. Like, even fucking Serena Williams said she almost died giving birth because the doctors did not take her seriously about, like, how she was having pain and whatever, and they weren't trying to give her anything. So I said that to her to, like, tell her, like, because I actually am considering it, number one, and number two, like, hey, this isn't a fucking joke. So yeah. So she said, oh, well, you need to do your research and just let me know if you want to do the birth control pills or the depot shot. And I'm like, the depot shot is basically a birth control shot that you get every couple months. She was like, yeah, there's some side effects, but not a lot. She's like, yeah, most people just report mood swings and weight gain, which shouldn't be a problem for you because it looks like you could use a couple pounds. And I was like, okay, bitch. I know I'm skinny. And yes, I should gain some weight, but I'm trying. Yeah. Yeah. What? I missed that one comment. I missed that. Hold on. The whole basis of black women note being taken serious on their medical pain all stems from racial science. Yeah, for sure. Like them thinking that we had different fucking skull, like our skulls, like were different or whatever. I've been told that a common misconception is that black women. Yes, like people think that black people in general have a higher pain tolerance, and it's like, okay, cool, like y'all just think we're dead ass animals, but like animals feel pain too. Like they just don't show it in the ways that we show it. Yeah, both of y'all are speaking facts. So, um, but yeah, so she was basically just like, yeah, the double shot has side effects, but you know, basically she didn't really say anything about it. You know what I mean? And she was just like, okay, so I'm gonna write you. She wanted to do another ultrasound on me because when I did do that CT scan that I was telling you guys about, like 20 minutes ago, when I thought I had a hernia, well, they found a cyst down there when they were doing the CT scan. So she wanted to order me another ultrasound so she could look at the cyst again. So she's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna order you another cyst, blah blah blah. So I'm thinking like, oh, she's gonna book me an appointment and then come back. Well, the bitch never came back, and I didn't understand what the fuck was happening. Um, yeah. So I leave awkwardly, like after like 20 minutes of just waiting in that room. And I go to the front and I'm like, the doctor never came back. She's like, oh yeah, because she just wrote a script for you to get the ultrasound. And you could just go wherever you want to get it done. And I'm like, oh, well, it would have been fucking great if she would have told me that. But really, the thing that actually pissed me off was while I was waiting for her to come back, I started looking up the depot shot. I cannot find one positive experience from someone who has taken that fucking shot. Apparently, it'll ruin your fucking life. Like, I can't even begin to like tell you all the shit that I was reading. The main thing was people could not get fucking pregnant after they had it. And like I don't really care about pregnancy, to be honest, cuz like I said, I can't really envision myself ever getting pregnant, but I would like the option. You know, if I'm not going to get a fucking hysterectomy, I'd like the option of getting pregnant, you know? Um so yeah, and then apparently like some people like the mood, she was like saying how there was just mood swings. Well, apparently for a lot of people it affected their mood so badly that they lost relationships in their lives because they could not handle how badly it made them feel, and it made them act out like so terribly. And like I was just so confused as to like why she would be recommending me this type of shot that had these terrible effects on people. There's a bunch of YouTube videos on it too that I need to watch, but I don't think I'm getting that shot. So basically, long story short, um when I was in that room, I literally booked another appointment for another gynecologist to get a second opinion because like yeah, I don't feel good about that lady. Like I know I made her sound like a bitch, but like she wasn't being like, she was being very condescending to me when she was talking, and she definitely felt like she didn't care. Like it definitely felt like, okay, here's another chick who has a problem and I'm just gonna prescribe her some shit and hopefully she shuts the fuck up about it. It didn't really feel like she cared about me. So I booked another appointment with this black lady, black doctor, gynecologist, which I wanted to book an appointment with her in the first place, but she is booked out. Like when I first was looking at her, in like probably like July. She didn't have any openings until like November. And at the time I was like, what the fuck? I'm not waiting until November. But now I wish that I had signed up, because then I would have just saw her anyway. But yeah, so I'm not gonna get another appointment until April. So yeah, that is, well, I guess basically this was an update video. I didn't intend on doing that, but yeah. The other update in my life is that I have a kitten, but I think I've been recording like little videos of her so that I can make this video and like post it and be all like edity and like artsy. Yeah, even though a lot of, yeah, I feel like I've never, I had a black doctor when I was a kid, and she was a great doctor, but I feel like at the time, like, nobody really knew what endometriosis was, and because even when I was a kid, like I said, I've had bad periods since I got my first period when I was like 9 or 10, and like the first year was fine, but I think that like that first year my scar tissue was starting to develop, and that's why I probably didn't have any cramps, because every year after that has been like fucking terrible. And I went to the my doctor with that issue, but she wasn't a gyno, she was just a regular doctor, and then she just gave me pills. And I don't even think my mom didn't even know what endometriosis was, you know? So it just wasn't a thing back then. Like, fucking, when I was like 10, I was 10 years old, like, fucking 14 years ago, you know? So, yeah, so that's the life update of my life. I'm gonna show you guys my kitten in another video, because she deserves a whole video of her own. And, what else? I'm working from home. My sister's working from home. So we were living a really cozy life, and I feel really fucking privileged. Like, really, really blessed and privileged. Like, so many people got laid off in this pandemic, but I got so lucky. I have a job in healthcare that thankfully can be done home. So, I work for, should I tell you I work for, should I say that shit? I'm not gonna say that shit. I'll tell you, I work for a company where I post payments online. So thankfully I don't have to like meet with anybody, even though they tried it the first few months. For some reason, even though it's a job that can be done from home, they were so adamant about us coming into the office. It was fucking crazy. And like, it infuriated me, because they were like, oh well, we're gonna have temperature tests done, so it's gonna be fine, and we're gonna clean everything. Yeah. Am I the only one who knows that people can carry COVID with no symptoms? No symptoms mean you won't have a fever, so it doesn't fucking matter if you're doing fever tests. And the motherfucker has COVID with no symptoms. He's gonna infect everybody in the goddamn office. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but it really pissed me off. But thankfully, I'm working from home now, and I got a new apartment, obviously. But I mean, this is my grandmother's furniture. But yeah, I got a new apartment. I got a car. I don't think I had a car the last time I was making videos here. And what else? Oh, I started seeing a therapist. So, yeah. I've had like 3 sessions with her. They've been really good. So, let's be real about what are you saying? You'd be surprised how many people don't know that. Yes, yeah. Things are changing every day. But, yeah. And, so, yes, I think people have dropped off, probably because I'm done talking, but basically, but alright, so I think I'm just gonna eat the rest of this Taco Bell and watch Everybody Hates Chris. And yeah, so if you stayed through this whole live stream, thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and post this video because I feel like a lot of people had a lot of questions about my grandmother, and they wanted to know about her, and I really didn't want to talk about it, but I ended up talking about it anyway. Not that I didn't want to talk about it, I just, every time I thought about talking about it, it made me really sad, so I just didn't want to like do it. But yeah, I guess I can just rename this New Year's life update. or something, because that's what it turned into. And then, yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for sticking with me in this live stream. And, no, Nicholas, you're fine. Like, don't feel bad for bringing it up, because I needed to talk about it, because there's no way that I could keep going with this channel and not tell you guys that, like, my grandmother died, because I always talk about my grandmother. Like, I talk about my grandmother in, like, almost every video that I post. So people were, like, leaving me comments and, like, asking about her and, like, leaving me, like, sending me DMs and, like, asking me. So, like, I had to, you know, tell you guys that she passed away. I just didn't know when I was going to do it, but I'm glad that I did it. So now it's gotten over with. Everybody can know. And yeah. So okay, I'm gonna go. All right. Have a great New Year's Eve. Just kidding. It's New Year's Day. Have a great New Year's Day, everybody. Thanks for watching this. One last thing before you go. High Tech is invited to the cookout. High Tech, you're white? How do you know High Tech's not white? He could already be black. See, Glenn, you're racist. No, I'm fucking kidding. But yeah, that's an avatar of... It's just a random avatar. You don't know if he's white or not. See? You're right. Glenn Duncan, I'm black. See? See? Look at you. You played yourself. You played yourself. Alright, guys. I'm gonna go. See ya. Bye.